All right, good evening, everybody. Back with another podcast with my buddy Tim. We're going to be talking about some VA benefits and why it's important to get your VA benefits started. I want to apologize for the small hiatus. I was traveling on vacation, then I was also traveling for work, and I just had an abundance of things going on, and it didn't align. I know we had tried before, but there was no way that I could. So I want to apologize first and foremost for that. But it feels good to be back and being able to do this. And with what we have for you today, the information is going to be pretty good. We did quite a bit of little research, and there's a lot of things that, hell, I didn't even know about some of these. So first and foremost, we're going to do a little cheers. We got some beer and we got some Crown, some blackberry. So cheers. Second thing I want to do is, on my vacation, I went to Detroit, to Cleveland. I actually went to Detroit, Canada, Toledo, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and then I flew back home. But when I stopped in Toledo, there was a brewery that I went to, and the owner was very hospitable. Heavy brewery, great beer, absolutely phenomenal time. He gave me some free beers. We hung out. He gave me a tour of his facility and everything that's going on. Phenomenal. So I do have.
I got the little Detroit.
Yeah, he's got a Detroit. He's got a Detroit, but it's good. That one's good too. So cheers.
Yeah.
So Andrew, this is for you, bro. God, that's fucking good. That's good. And then another trip that I did, and I wanted to talk about that, was I was flying from Salt Lake City for work, and I was coming back home, and I met a gentleman named Pastor Larry, and he was introducing me and having a conversation with me about the Warrior Healing Center. It's down in it's in Sierra Vista, Arizona. And what they do is they help out military veterans with getting, filing for their compensation, but not only that, but they have a location down there where they do a lot of things for veterans with PTSD, depression, anxiety. So if you get an opportunity, take a look at that. The Warrior Healing Center down in Sierra Vista. They get a lot of grants and do a lot of good stuff for people. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Pastor Larry, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I apologize again for the cursing, because I did tell him that there was a lot of cursing in this. So Pastor Larry, we'll definitely meet up and we'll go down there. I'm probably going to bring Tim with me so we can go check that facility out and maybe, share some resources and do whatever else we need to do. Last thing before we get started is Jay Hayden with MA22, My 22. I sent my first check to them. They got a couple $100 from t-shirt proceeds. So if you want a t-shirt, let me know. I haven't been pushing them a lot because to me, they're not anything. I want to donate and do things, but at the same time, I'm not trying to make a profit or do anything. They're here. If you want them, let me know. Leave a comment. I'll definitely hit you up and subscribe. Or and if you get an opportunity, have your friends subscribe, and we'll go from there. But get into the nitty gritty. I appreciate Tim coming out and talking again.
Thanks for having me. Always.
I think he enjoys it too. And there's just something about this that I enjoy.
It's fun.
Me being in front of a camera isn't crazy. I've actually had somebody tell me, like, damn, you got a face for radio. I mean, that hurt. You know what I mean? But no, I have been loving this. I've just been a little busy with trying to finish one class for school. But it goes down to these benefits. As we're talking about the benefits, I finished this last class. I'm down to 2 classes that are going to be done in the summer. And then I have 3 days of GI Bill left. 3 days.
Three total days.
3 total days. Like, I'm almost exhausted with my GI Bill, and I'm kind of excited because when you exhaust your GI Bill, if you paid into the Montgomery GI Bill, they send you a check for $1,500. You get your $1,500 back that you paid into. So, and the beauty is, if you have less than a month and you apply for a new semester, let's say like my 3 days, they will actually look at it and they'll make a determination on whether they're going to pay for the full semester.
Oh.
So those 3 days can pay for the entire semester. So I've been talking to him about benefits and stuff. I am a product of vocational rehab, and it all goes back to disability compensations. So a couple quick things before we start with the disability aspect of it, or the benefits aspect. But only 30% of 18.5 million veterans are receiving disability.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So that comes out to 5.5 million, 5.6 million veterans getting VA benefits.
So what you're saying is this number of people getting these benefits, there's still money out there for other veterans to get their benefits who haven't filed anything.
Oh yeah. It's allocated. I mean, it's congressionally allocated money for us to be able to receive these benefits for everything that we've done. I mean,
so by me getting benefits, it's not cutting into your benefits.
Nope, not at all.
Okay,
not at all.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of people talk about, and they might be scared of going to go get some benefits because they think that they're cutting into other veterans' benefits, or they have an old school mentality about it to where, oh, nothing's wrong with me now, I'm good, or I just want to tough it out and not get compensated for, maybe they got injured in the military and they need to get that thing looked at or whatever. They're having back problems and they can't figure it out. Well, you probably lifted a lot and pushed and pulled a lot while you're in the military. It's time to go get compensated for that.
And those deployments, we all know, we passed by the burn pit every day in Iraq and in Afghanistan. And how many issues are going on with people with burn pits?
Yeah, like breathing issues,
lung cancer, pneumonias,
sinus issues.
Oh yeah. So recently, I've had a few individuals that I shared with my friend Chris. He has a little thing that he does where he helps individuals get their compensation up, or he reviews all their stuff. And if you need anything, leave it in the comments. I will create a Facebook page and I will ensure that my inbox is always open. But people like that are helping other people, other veterans get their benefits up, I mean, that's important. We were talking about some people in general where they might have 40%, but they have a lot of other issues. My buddy Brandon, I already fucking told you. Did we not tell him?
Yeah.
We told him the other day. Get your fucking shit in, dude. Intent to file. Make sure to do your intent to file from today, because if you submit it in a year time, let's say you wait and you submit it, it expires after a year, but you file your intent to file, and then 6 months down the road you file it, they will back pay you up to your intent to file date. And however long it takes, they will back pay you if your rate goes up or if you get a disability in general.
So overall, right, if we're talking about filing and trying to get that compensation, a lot of people don't think about this, or it kind of goes over their head because we just had some conversations over the weekend. A lot of people don't file in that BDD process. So that 6 months prior to you getting out, you can file that claim. So you're going to all your appointments, you're getting all your ratings, and by the time you get out, hand over your DD 214 to the VA. You're able to, within the first day, week, maybe 2 weeks, you're able to see what your rating is at that point, right? The VA will give you that rating. If you're not happy with that rating, obviously we can go back into medical records, file a few more claims, try to, get your rating to where you want it to be. Ultimately, the goal for this is we want everybody to be at 100% who served and have dealt with anything in the military, any aches, pains, surgeries, because at the end of the day, we're going to break down. And we're not going to know why, but we know why in the back of our heads. It's because we put all this pressure on ourselves to make the mission happen in the military, and now it's time to be compensated for things that you're going to have to deal with, that back, those knees, maybe some elbow issues. Hey, my shoulder's not quite where it used to be. Hey, I don't move as fast anymore because of my ankles. All that stuff is, you can be compensated for it.
He brought up a point about just being in the military and getting hurt. we do a lot of stuff with deployments or with home station, whether you're a ground pounder or, you're in maintenance. I mean, how much carrying and lifting and doing all the things that most civilians will never understand. I mean, I get the harder jobs, construction and that type of stuff, but we are lifting and running, and I mean, the majority of people in society don't run as much as we do. You know what I mean? Like not nowhere close. Plus all the other exercises, plus being deployed, and then us doing our own thing, like lifting all the time. Like your body wears down, and throughout time you have those people that say, "Oh, I'm fucking tough. I don't need this. I don't want to do this." But how many of those have you seen?
I've talked to a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of older veterans who got out maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, who have the mentality of, I'm not going to take away from another vet. Well, that's not what you're doing. You're getting compensated for what happened to you.
Yep.
You can't worry about what happened to everyone else because they're going to file and get their compensation. You have to worry about what happened to you in the military. So the pains and aches that you're feeling, like, oh man, I just can't get over this or whatever, like, you can get compensated for all that. If it's in your medical records, if you have the nexus letters, some buddy letters, whatever, from different situations, I don't see a reason why you can't get to the percentage or the compensation level that you want to be at. Like I said, the ultimate goal here, if we could get all of our vets at 100%, get everybody with all those great benefits that come along with that 100%, the permanent and total stuff, that'd be great. That's the thing that we all strive for, and we try to help everyone else out with. I'm on my brother's ass all the time. He knows it. I will continue to have my foot on the gas on that one because I want to see him there. And, I just want him to understand or to see that, like, it just makes life a little bit easier when you're getting compensated for those things, spending those 15-month deployments out there, kind of dealing with, what he had to deal with, and the other veterans who did the same thing, mm-hmm. right? Spending those long deployments out there in those austere environments, whether it be, your sleep schedule's all messed up or whatever the case may be. We just want to see everybody get compensated for what they went through.
But we don't want you to get twisted in this and think that it's easy. It's a process.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better than what it was in the early 2000s. You talk to Vietnam veterans, you talk to World War II veterans, they didn't get this compensation, which is unfortunate because if you think about it, and I just got some chills off this shit, but World War II veterans and Vietnam veterans probably deserved it. Not saying they deserved it more than what's going on now or what has gone on, but they deserved it equally, and they had to struggle and fight, and they didn't care about PTSD. I mean, what was World War II? It was
like shell shock.
And now everything's come to light. Like, holy shit, PTSD is a real thing. It's massive, and it's not just because you don't have anything wrong exterior. In your exterior person, interior, your mindset, your the way you feel, the way the anxiety hits. We all know that it affects different parts of your body.
Yeah.
And so if you get anxiety, there's two forms. It either messes with your mind or messes with your gut.
Yeah.
And that creates a whole other aspect. So there's been a lot of breakthroughs with this compensation. Early 2000s, they shifted and aided to where it made it a little bit easier. And then after the Iraq portion, they shifted and made it a lot easier. I don't want to say a lot easier, but easier to get the compensation you deserve versus fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. Yeah. And that was because Congress saw it fit that we deserved what we did. I mean, you guys put your life on the lines. Now, we are spending resources in other places of the globe. Why wouldn't you want to get the resources to be able to help sustain life here? You deserve it. You went to war. You did what you did. You signed up. Even if you didn't go to war, you were still serving. You were still busting your ass.
Something could have happened.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just getting compensated for whatever, and that's where we want people to be. That's what we want. The whole point of this podcast is like, hey, here are some of the things that you can think about, or you can look into that we've researched that kind of let you know, hey, this is where you're at. This is where you can be, and this is kind of what you're missing out on if we're not, having our foot on the gas there and trying to get after what we deserve, and just trying to get taken care of is the main thing.
And if you have a family member that's stubborn, stay on them. Refer him to me because he's got a brother, but I've known people who say my fucking husband won't do it, like blah blah blah. Fucking dude, come talk to me because
we can get you. If I don't know the people, I'm sure he can. There are Facebook groups out there that kind of talk about and break down all this stuff, and it's a whole community that are willing to help other veterans because, you know, veterans, we take care of each other. That's just the way it is. Nothing really is going to change about that ever. I mean, I see that all the time. If it's a vet in need, I see tons of people trying to go help them out or commenting on whatever, or just trying to give them that piece of advice that's going to push them over the edge to get them that, you know, that 100% P&T or things that, you know, they may not be filing that is in their medical records that they need to go back and file.
And that's something else that I wanted to mention. If you have legit issues, please file.
Yeah.
But if you don't, I mean, realistically, I mean, we're all adults here.
Yeah.
Like, don't do the malingering thing where you say that you're hurt and you're really not, because then that breaks down the trust of what the veteran, you know, what the veterans do or what the veterans did.
Yeah.
You know, so if you have a legit issue, please go get seen.
Yeah, and you know, it's basically spending 20 plus years or whatever, however long you want to stay in the military. It's all just going through your medical records.
Yep.
You've been, there are things that happen to you while you're in. If you sprain an ankle, if you know, twisted a knee, if, you know, oh, you had surgery on a shoulder or a knee or something that happened to you, tendonitis here. Those are things that you can claim that you really don't think about. Like you put all this pressure on your body, your knees and ankles and all these joints. And a lot of people never file for any of that when you can. You know, sometimes it's often, well, what job did you do in the military is a thing that they would ask.
Yep.
What job did you do? All right, cool. Let's look at the job. Let's look at how strenuous it is, what you did in the job. And sometimes that's enough to get you, you know, with the examiner or you know, the doctor or whoever, because they understand a lot of those career fields and how they, you know, kind of beat the people up and push them out.
How impactful some of the jobs are
Yeah.
to your bodies. I was a sheet metal guy, so we're heavy riveting all the time, so your ears are fucked up. I mean, people talk to me and I'm like, huh, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
and then being around the flight line, or then, I mean, surgeries from, you know, you see that big old scar right there, surgeries from work is just constant. It's constant. And then you're lifting things, your toolboxes are 70, 80 pounds, you know, constantly lifting it. You know, at the time, you know, we're big, we lift weights, we do everything, but still the movements to shift and everything else. I mean, there's techniques to this. I mean, OSHA teaches them, you know, people how to. And in the military, they tell you that you need to do this,
that's a 2-man lift.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck you, get out of the way.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta get this going, man.
I mean, and then we talk about that, but then you got the loaders, the weapons loaders up in the AC-130s, and they're carrying those bullets right there. That each one, those rounds, are 75 pounds, and they're carrying it like it's nothing. But they're not properly lifting. Yeah. They're lifting and twisting their body. I mean, how much wear on your body is that, you know?
That's a lot. And, you know, you think about that and you go to the doctors for it and all this other stuff. And all that is to prepare you for when you're getting out and trying to get this compensation. So, compensation-wise, what do you think the differences are over the years between some of the compensations?
Oh, God. A lot of money.
Don't worry. I did the math for you. And I did this the other night because also, shameless plug, still writing the book, still getting it on, getting through a lot of information, trying to make sure that what I'm putting out is going to be a product that people are going to, get something from. It's, a lot of my time, but hey, it's working.
I don't know that we've shared that on here.
I think it's the first time.
So Tim is writing a book on a roadmap of how to transition from military to civilian life.
Yep. And kind of the things that you need to be doing. I know we briefly talked about the roadmap portion on the first podcast, and now it kind of got greenlit, so we're moving along with that.
I like it. I fucking like it.
So, thank you to Trevor and his team for helping out with this. I appreciate you guys having confidence in me to write this. and believing in me to even do this. So with that being said, I did do some research to kind of bring some of the compensation numbers here. So, we know, like, I'm not just whistling Dixie here. We're spitting out hardcore facts. And if you don't like money, that's okay.
I mean, who doesn't, right?
But, just giving you real facts here. So just doing some of the research on this, and we're going to use today's numbers, kind of what we'd be getting today as opposed to back then. But we'll make it relevant, right? So if I was at 50% for 5 years, and I could have been at 100% with what was in my records and my compensation, it was found out 5 years later that, I had this, and that would have pushed me at 100% from day one. Didn't know that. So in those 5 years, the difference between 50 and 100% compensation, you've already lost out on $160,000 tax free.
5 years. And 5 fucking years.
And you go down the line on that, right? 10 years, you lost out on $320K. 15 years, you lost out on $480K. So almost $500,000 over 15 years for something that you could have claimed, got your compensation for, been at that 100%, been good to go. And that, those numbers alone kind of just, they sting, they hurt, just looking at them. But there's a story, one of my friends, he was helping his dad, trying to get the VA compensation. His dad's been out of the military for 30 plus years, right? Come to find out, his dad's at 100% now. So we did some math on that, right? Because we like to break it down. That's about 1.6 million of compensation and benefits that were missed out on. So the compensation
30
portion,
years.
Yeah, it was almost 1.6 million that was missed out on, and like just the number, like tax free.
Oh, God.
Like it hurts to even hear it. But happy that able to get that compensation now, right? Get the compensation started. Get the things that we don't have to worry about anymore. Their medical, all the rest of the stuff that comes along with that. So please, 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 if you are at a percentage and you have more things in your records that you need to file for, you snore at night, you never went and got that sleep apnea test. Well, okay, go get it. Get your Nexus letters from folks, get your buddy letters from folks, and get your compensation moved up. If there's a few more things in there that you just didn't think about filing for, go back through your medical records and see what you have in there. Maybe there's something in there that you could have filed for that brings you over the top. So that's the main thing. Like, just please go get the compensation, or go file so you can get the compensation.
Yeah, it does make a difference. Quality of life can change instantly with the difference of 50 to 100%. That's a $3,000 a month extra.
Yeah, I think
that's a huge quality of life
50
difference.
is less than 1,100.
Yeah.
And 100 is like 37 some change, and this is all single.
Yeah.
Don't quote me, like, don't pinpoint my numbers, but hey, this is the good range of it. So yeah.
Yep. I mean, if you're at 100% with a wife, that adds another $300, $200 something, plus additional kids adds another $100 per kid. So you can be at 2 kids, 100% with a wife.
You could be over $4,000.
$4,300, $4,400. I mean, who couldn't use that? And this is why we're bringing this, and this is why we're highlighting it, because those of you guys who still are active duty, which, by the way, another little thing, I was at Fry's down the street, and some guy comes up to me and he's like, "I like your podcast."
Oh, nice.
Fucking random, dude. Random.
Nice.
I love this because I'm reaching people. It's going out there. That was a sidebar. I apologize. But for those of you guys, and he was still active, or he was still in the Guard, for those of you guys who are still in, like I said before, don't do the malingering thing where you act and you fake, because there are people who are really getting hurt and doing these things. Yeah. If you're hurt, if you have issues, whether it be IBS, whether it be GERD, whatever it is,
sleep issues,
the military causes a lot of these. Yeah. How many different shifts do you work? That creates insomnia. That creates restless leg syndrome. That creates other issues. Go get seen. Go get seen while you're on active duty.
So it makes your compensation, when you file, it makes the ability to get the compensation a lot easier. It's in your records.
Yep.
They know you've been seen for it. So why not? We're going to go ahead and give them a percentage. Now, those percentages are based off of mild, moderate, and severe, I believe it is. So if you have a lot of mild, moderate situations that are going on with you, like, oh, I got moderate knee pain, I got mild knee pain, I got moderate back pain, whatever. All these things, over time, they build up, and then, you're able to file for them, and you're good to go. It's in your records. You have proof. There's nothing that you need.
And there's also these secondary and tertiary issues. Let's say you hurt an ankle, then you compensate on your other leg as you're doing it, and then you have knee problems on that one.
Yep.
Well, then that compensation goes to your hip. That's a secondary and a tertiary issue that can still be filed and claimed onto your stuff.
Yeah.
So don't think that just because I have an ankle injury and it gave me 20%, 30%, but you have an associated knee problem and then a hip problem because of that. So then that creates that, hey, these are secondary and tertiary issues. Get those taken care of. Get those looked at. I mean, that happens all the time, and it needs to be said and done and documented. Because you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it.
Oh, yes, you do, and you should be going in for anything that is wrong with you, just to get that stuff documented in your records. I know there was a time in the military where don't go to the doctor, don't go to the doctor. Now you need to go be seen for whatever's bothering you. Don't let people tell you shouldn't go to the doctor for things, because it could be something that you think is minor now that you're going to have to deal with the rest of your life. You talked about hip pain or whatever, knee pain. Yeah, it could be one of those things to where you're constantly dealing with knee pain the rest of your life, and you need to go be seen for it.
I've known plenty of individuals who are my age, which I'm not going to date myself, but that have had knee replacements or hip replacements. Fucking 44. I just fucking said it. God damn it. Sorry. Oh, I retract that statement. But 44 with knee replacements or hip replacements. Like, that should not happen. But that's because of what we did. Now, with having that, with going to the VA, there's a lot of benefits, as you guys all know, from those of you guys who are military, or those of you guys who know military members, where you shop on base, the commissary, the BX, and that type of stuff. When you get your VA card, get your VA disability card, you are able to go back onto base and go shopping. You do have to go to the visitor center and register and everything,
and this is for the folks who did not retire.
Yes, for the folks that did not retire, whether you did 4 years or 16 years, 19 years, and you didn't retire, they will give you that access to go back on base, so you can go shopping at the commissary and at the BX and the Class 6.
All that
Shop
fun
at
stuff.
whatever it is. Those, or I say BX, but the base exchange, or the post exchange, or the what do the Marines call it?
NEX. Naval
the
exchange.
naval exchange. That way you can go in there, and we all know what the savings are. I mean, you go into the commissary, and absolutely you save $100 on a few $100s in groceries. And even now, I mean, you see the prices of inflation. You want to go shop at the BX, or the commissary, because it's going to save you some money. So it also, all that stuff helps out. All that stuff makes a difference.
And that is a very important benefit, because it's like you never really left the military, where they give you that option as a veteran at that point to go ahead and go on and shop and do whatever, just roam around if you want to.
Yep. And then I am an absolute advocate for vocational rehab, and what vocational rehab does is it gives you the opportunity to get additional educational benefits, especially if your injuries preclude you from doing manual labor, or manual labor will create other issues upon what you currently have. And I had vocational rehab. My undergrad is in occupational health and safety, so I had an OSHA degree, but because of my military career, it made it hard for me to go and do all those things, climb, get into the, confined spaces and everything. So I went to vocational rehab, and vocational rehab is a wonderful thing. That is chapter 31.
Chapter 31, yep.
And what it allowed me to do is it allowed me to save my post 9/11 GI Bill and focus just on schooling with this, and allowed me to get, whether it be a bachelor's, an associate's, a bachelor's, a certification, a master's, but it allowed me to step away from the manual labor into a white collar job. But that education, it paid for my full degree. It paid for my MBA, for me to be able to get my MBA and not use my GI Bill.
So with that, did they take care of your housing as well?
They gave you a housing allowance. It's exactly what the GI Bill is, and it gives you a housing stipend. And then they also provide your books, obviously the tuition. They give you a computer. They give you a printer. They give you all the accessories to utilize everything that you need. And then you can also apply for different little stipends if needed for other things. Whether it be you are, if you have if you're an amputee, you can apply for other items. There's all kinds of little benefits to it, depending on what the severity of your disabilities are.
So with these ratings or whatever, right? Obviously, we want people to get to 100%. Obviously, we want people to be at that compensation rating. With that compensation rating of 100%, the PNT or the permanent total, that's the golden ticket or whatever right there. What are some of the other things that we are looking at getting with that 100% PNT?
Well, let's and I wanted to backtrack a little because you did mention that, but the vocational rehab, all you need to be is 20% identified with one injury.
Oh, so we can get that with 20%.
20%, and you get that on top of your GI Bill.
Perfect.
I would utilize that first and then use your GI Bill, because as I did, I went, got my MBA, and then I still had plenty of time to get my second master's and continuing on with the third master's.
Okay. Just
off of that. But it gives you that opportunity to, go in a different direction where you need to go. Whether it be a trade school, whether it be like I said, an associate's, a bachelor's, a master's, and even a PhD. They will pay for that full degree plan, just off of 20% off of one injury. So you have that portion. But then some of the other benefits for military, for disability. What did we talk about? We were talking about
our compensation between our 50 and 100.
Yes.
That was one of the bigger things because that's our money.
But you were talking about, we had a discussion beforehand.
Yeah.
We were talking about fishing and hunting licenses for different states.
Yeah. So that is another thing. Sorry. Fishing and hunting licenses in most states, they'll take care of that for the veterans that are 100% disabled. So they'll go ahead and you'll have free hunting and fishing license. There are the national parks. You could get into a lot of the national parks for free. They give you a nice card or whatever. It's a yearly card, annual card, I should say. And you just keep that with you. You can go to any national park. You're good to go. One of the biggest things two of the biggest things when we're talking states, and it's important to look at which state you're in, and there are websites that you could Google to tell you what your benefits are for 100% for each state. Being in Arizona, you could get your disabled veteran plates. You could get the handicap placard. You can also get a reduced rate on your registration. So I think for me, I paid like $60 for 2 years.
Yeah,
which is dirt cheap, right? Like the lady said, she was like, "Oh, it's gonna be $240 something." I was like, just kindly handed her my 100% PNT paperwork. Her supervisor looked at it and explained to her what this means and went through it. So we were able to get that knocked down to $60, and good to go there. Also, whenever I handed them the permanent total letter from the VA, like whatever you get, they gave me my handicap placard as well, or I could have gotten the plates, whatever. I didn't really want the plates, but I did take the placard because that's a part of the compensation. That's a part of the thing that the state takes care of for you. If you're 100%, that is one of the benefits. You will get a handicap placard, you'll get your DV plates, all that other good stuff. Another thing to look at whichever state you're in is the property tax. What does that property tax look like for you? There are some states, if you're 100%, they'll waive all property taxes. I think Texas is probably like one of those big states that takes care of a lot of the veterans with the property tax and your vehicle reg and your plates and hunting and fishing and all that good stuff.
Another one is Utah. Utah is very, very good with their benefits towards disabled veterans. Texas, you have to be 100% to be able to get no property tax. In the state of Utah, I want to say it's 10%. Any disability rating that you can get either a prorated or no property tax. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I was talking to a veteran while I was down there a few weeks ago, and he was telling me that. So definitely take a look at that. Definitely state by state, and then as we're mentioning state by state, Florida and Texas are two of the biggest ones that have additional educational benefits. Texas has a Hazelwood Act, and Florida has a C.W. Bill Young.
C.W. Bill Young, yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that's very beneficial. So if you run out, like myself, I have 3 days left on my GI Bill. But whenever I move to Texas after my kids graduate, I'm gonna go use a Hazelwood Act to get my PhD. So I'm like, screw it, might as well, right? I mean, it's education.
Dr. Pedro.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking studying. But it's those benefits that if you run out or you give your benefits to your children, you can still get educational benefits. And then on top of that, disability, going through the VA, you get medical, dental, mental health benefits that you definitely need.
So, in breaking that down, when he talks about the medical, dental, and all the other healthcare benefits, so if you're at 100% P&T, a great example of this is, if you go into dental, they'll take care of any dental work. So, they give you, just like the military, or a little better than the military, they give you 2 cleanings a year, and then they take care of everything else for you. Really good dental facility here. I can't speak for everywhere else. This place here in Tucson has a really great dental facility, in and out. Great with the cleanings. The docs are good. They go in, they make sure like you're comfortable. They want to put you in that environment to where you feel safe and everything's good, and then they work on you.
Yep.
And, medical wise, I had to go to the VA ER. I was in and out in 2 hours, and that's X-rays. That's getting seen by the doc. That's my meds. That's everything. In and out the door through an ER in 2 hours. I can't speak for every other location, but what I'm telling you is having that peace of mind of not having to worry about, what is this going to cost me at the emergency room because, I don't feel so great today and I need to go be seen by a doctor.
Yep.
You don't need those worries. So that's another benefit that, you have there. And also when it comes to different devices that, the VA offers you. So if some folks have hearing aids and all those devices, like the VA takes and covers all that. If you have braces or any of those other things that you might need, the VA also takes care of that. Along with those braces, for the elbow braces or knee braces or whatever, we found out that there is a clothing allowance that the VA will give you once a year. It's almost $1,000, so which is great. It's way better than anything we received in the military. You file, I think the cutoff is maybe like August, and then they pay out in September. But you have until that August time frame to get your claim in with them. And all it is you getting a paper signed by your doctor saying that you either have a brace or a certain cream or whatever that you're putting on whatever body part that kind of degrades your clothes over time. I don't think it's that hard. So I'll be applying this year for that. I know a few other people who are going to do the same, whether it be whatever braces that they have. So that's another benefit that a lot of people don't really tell you about, or I had to learn about it through back channels. I felt like I'm standing outside like trying to listen to people talk about something. But another benefit that you could get, so that's $1,000 extra on top of like what you're already getting your compensation for, that it's free.
And then if you have other issues, they do special equipment for vehicles. They do special equipment. They do housing grants or house grants for upgrades and ramps any wheelchair accessibilities.
So if you need a tub, or if you have issues with your feet and you only have a tub, they can come in and look at that and try to renovate your house to put a stand-up shower in there for you. So you have more than just that. Or if you need some, stairs put on, whatever, they'll kind of build you something or make it a little easier or a lot easier for you because they know you have to get in and out of it. So,
but this isn't just limited to, our age or those that are just getting out or whatever. They have standard or they have senior living facilities or they help with getting you into senior
Okay.
or home, and then burial. So you don't have your family doesn't have to worry about you. Your family doesn't have to worry about what they're gonna do if they can't afford it. Like they will help you. You will get buried. You will get put into either a cemetery of your choice. You can get cremated, or they will put you into a veterans memorial location. So that's something to take a look at.
And there are different states have different locations for those. I know Arizona, they send out the emails through the VA or whatever, asking for volunteers to help out at some of those locations or those facilities. So,
sign up for those VA notifications because they are very beneficial.
Yeah.
They do have a lot of good stuff. But it's not only limited to you guys. I'm gonna backtrack a little. There's also community care. He was talking about dental. I have an appointment on Friday to get my teeth cleaned. But then I also have other appointments outside of the VA facility that the VA pays for you to go downtown to get seen. I've gotten seen several times in the local community, and the VA pays for it, and you don't have to pay for a single cent for any of this. And if there's any medications, they will send it directly to your, to your house. I get that all the time, constantly. My medication comes to the house.
and with your medication, just to add a little something to that, if you have the VA app, you're able to go on and request a refill on those medications as well. So you can request that refill on those medications, and they come to your house, in a few days, whatever. And you never really have to go into the pharmacy and wait and like, oh man, let me see what number they're on, and they're 4 hours backed up. There's none of that you have to worry about. You just go on. All right, I usually do it all at the same time to where I refill all my meds. When I'm getting maybe a week out on whatever I have, I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and re-up on the meds. So they're there. I don't have to worry about anything. It's just a click of a button. So
I don't even have the VA app. Like, damn it. I mean, I get on the VA website and I do it that way, but I don't even have the VA app. See? I'm a little behind on that too, so my bad.
You might want to get it. It'll make life a little easier. I'm just saying.
And then, for those of you guys who are 100% PNT, and those of you guys who are still active duty, or you have your GI Bill that you're going to give to your kids, something that I just found out in Texas, but something that I know because my daughter's going to school because of this, but she's utilizing Chapter 35, which allows for dependents or children to go to school. Yes, dependents of survivors, and then for those with disabilities with 100% PNT, their children can actually go to school. It kind of acts as the old Montgomery GI Bill, where they send you a check every month, and then you have to pay, your tuition, your fees, whatever you need to. But my daughter's utilizing that. But I just found out as well that through the Chapter 35 and the VA benefits, Texas also allows you to utilize the Hazelwood Act on top of the Chapter 35 at the same time in conjunction.
So you're getting money.
Yes, so you get money to go to school and do what you need to do. So I literally just found that out yesterday. So I need a.
So it's like you need your VA app. You need.
I need to talk to my daughter about getting that stuff taken care of. But those are benefits that you earned for your kids, and that way they can utilize what they need to do. I mean, you put yourself on the line, so why wouldn't you?
So, when you talk about that as well, about benefits for your family members, another benefit through the VA is Champ VA for 100%. And what this is, the VA will share some of the costs for certain healthcare and even supplies that you may need VA kind of shoulders some of that burden of the cost or whatever, so it makes it a little easier on you, and it kind of takes you having to go find this expensive healthcare insurance for your family out, and just trying to figure that whole portion out, because I know healthcare is expensive on the outside, and folks are just, when I talk to civilians and folks in the corporate world, they're like, oh, we're paying $300-400 a month just for healthcare.
A month? I thought it was like a paycheck.
I'm like, oh my God, like, no, thank you. Like, what is that?
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about that. But even TRICARE, like if you retired, it's still a pretty good little.
Yeah, so I did TRICARE as well, only because I didn't have a rating, and I didn't have a rating when I first got out, and I wanted to make sure I was covered. I didn't want the company that I was working at the time, I didn't want their insurance. So TRICARE at the time was $29 a month. If you're single, like I think that was a good deal for health insurance. Like I told,
good deal. It's a great deal.
I didn't know. Like I didn't know at the time, right? I'm like, $29. I was like, how much is this really? And then hearing people talk about the cost of healthcare and this, and I'm like, all right, I'll take the $29. And then getting the 100% compensation or 100% P&T, it kind of helped out with that whole medical thing. It took something else off my plate that I don't have to worry about. So it's another form of like compensation and benefits that just makes your life a lot easier.
I just had a conversation with somebody who pays $700 a paycheck every bi-weekly, $700. So do the math on that.
For what?
For medical, for them and their family. $700. Over $700.
$1,400 a month.
Yep. So you're looking at.
So that's a mortgage payment somewhere.
Oh God, $114,000, 15, 16, about $16,500 to $17,000 a year. That's a lot of money. So.
That's like I said, like $1,400 a month. That's a mortgage payment in some places.
Yeah.
That's
not in Arizona, but
somewhere. It's somewhere. Yeah, somewhere. It's out there somewhere.
And then for any disability ratings, the VA offers career assistance, and they have a program called Veterans Readiness and Employment, where they try to help you out with resumes and with everything that you need to do. There's a lot of little workshops that they offer. Again, I'm an advocate for the VA system, because this is where we're at after our careers. So all these tidbits are because, World War II, Vietnam vets, First Gulf War didn't get these opportunities. And now we have these opportunities right in our palm of our hands. Let's take advantage of it.
And with you saying that a lot of this came about because they didn't just want to, they saw how veterans were being treated on the outside. They saw that we were kind of behind the 8 ball when it came to, trying to be successful in a lot of these jobs. I mean, yeah, we've been through a lot of things in the military, but if you could get those little things or those little benefits that will set you up for success, make you more marketable on the outside, if you want to find whatever job, like they're able to help point you in a path, get you a mentor, do all these other things to where you are successful, because obviously, you spent a lot of your life defending this country, and now it's the country's turn to kind of take care of you and to make sure that you're a fully functioning member of society on the outside, like you're contributing back. Not saying that we don't, but that I think that they took enough heat in the past to where they now are seeing like, hey, we need to take care of our veterans a lot more.
Yeah, because before, the transition process was you get a day to 2 days of a transitional course, and then they pretty much scooted you on out. Next, little fun fact, Tucson alone, DM, we were having this conversation, retires about 600 people a year.
I didn't know that.
600 people a year. That's a lot of people.
I mean,
that's retired.
Yeah.
That is right now, and this is something that I'm going to have Marcus and John back on with Tim, and we're going to have a conversation about, some of us who are dealing with this, who have dealt with this, become mentors for some of the people that are retiring and getting out, because there's a lot of useful tips and tools that, as we continually do these podcasts, not just the what's your why, but this is where we want to go. This is what I want to do, is constantly feed this information to you guys. I mean, this is 50 minutes right now of constant information that we're feeding you, and hopefully this can help you realize that, hey, you do need to do this. This is something that's important. This is something that you need to take care of, you know?
Absolutely. You know, when you think about this for the retired guys who are getting out, whether you're, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, doesn't matter. With all that and, you know, trying to get this 100% compensation, you're looking at anywhere from like $70,000 to $90,000 that, you know, you're going to have if you do it right, you get all your stuff together, that it just makes life a lot easier. When you have that as, you know, your base, looking for a job and everything, it becomes like, it just takes a lot of that burden and that stress off of you.
Yep.
Because you know, hey, if you don't like what you're doing, or, you know, they don't like you and it's time to go, then hey, you could sit at home and just relax and enjoy some of the retired life.
Yeah.
Until you find whatever it is that you're passionate about and you want to do, right?
Yep.
So, and the only reason I say that, speaking from experience. So just remember that having these benefits and being retired, you kind of want to maximize everything that you can. So I think that's why we're here. As we learn, we grow. We're going to help everybody else learn and grow. Like, you know, bring these little things up that, you know, they're not going to talk about in your TAP class or your transition class when you get out of the military. But hopefully, through this, through what we're trying to do as mentors, we're going to help enough people, and maybe they are able to help more people, and it just kind of trickles down, you know, helping everybody out. Because obviously we want to help as many vets as we can. I know there are a lot of avenues, and there are a lot of podcasts, and there are a lot of websites, and there are a lot of Facebook pages, but hey, you know, not everybody knows about those, so we'll just continue to fight the good fight.
Well, I am going to go ahead and close this out. Tim, I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
I know, you know, we had some beers, we had a couple of small little laughs, but this was an important topic that I feel that we needed to do.
For sure.
So, thank you again.
And no problem, anytime.
Please like, share, subscribe. Take care of yourself. Make sure you do these compensation things. Make sure that you utilize these full benefits, because there's a lot of good stuff out there for you.
Get your damn benefits.
Get your damn
Enough
benefits.
said.
All right, guys. Like, share. Please, please, please pass this on. Share. We want to build this to be able to give everybody an opportunity to have an outlet, to laugh, to joke, but also to get these resources.
For sure.
Talk to you guys later. Love you guys.
See.